So I finally got, and some of you might be waiting on this also, the DJI LiDAR system is what I got here in this box. And it actually took a while to get. They've been on back order for a while. And this is not the kit with the follow focus system. That one was on back order and I didn't want to wait. So I figured I'll go ahead and get the actual LiDAR in the meantime, and I can always buy and add on to that later, which is what's cool about DJI system is you can always build into it. But DJI has this whole ecosystem, all kinds of film gear. We're not getting anywhere with this, which is interesting considering DJI started the drone world. Now they're pretty well known in a lot of the, indie to pro filmmaking world. All right, what do we got here? LiDAR Pro, the Focus Pro LiDAR system, Pro motor, and we got the Pro grip, which is required. And what's special about this one, if you haven't seen any other videos yet on this, which I'm sure you have, is that this is the new generation of the LiDAR system that you no longer have to have it on the gimbal, because that was what really drew me away from the first version of this. Was I didn't care to have it on the gimbal. I rarely shoot on a gimbal. So that was really, it would have been a nuisance for me to always have to put it on a gimbal to be able to use the LiDAR. This new system looks better in multiple ways. And DJI stickers. I love it came with this case. I didn't even know it came with the case. And I thought this was only for the bigger kit. It's not one of those foam cases you get with like the, you're probably familiar with the Amaran lights, those little foam cases you get. I'm gonna look at this here. Okay, so this case, I was worried this case was gonna be just for this stuff and not with the focus wheel that I didn't get in this kit. That was with the combo kit that I didn't get. Like I said, I'm still on back order and I got tired of waiting, and I wanted to snag this while it came back in stock. But the case has room for that there. I really like that you can grow into it. And this is a pretty nice case. You can add more motors. You have room for the motors there. All right, I like that little flap too. You got a little zipper. Hope the audio is picking me up. It's a little far because I had to kind of move it with the top-down camera. I like that. All right, first thing I go for is the case. Pop this open. 15mm rod, cables. I don't know what to call that. Little shoe mount. Looks like shoe mounts. Cables. The handle is required for this, and that can be a pro or con. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I mean, I like the idea of having a handle. I mean, you get the trigger to also control, to do a manual autofocus, which I love that idea. If you're familiar with any of DJI's gimbals, it feels like the newer RS3, RS4 grip, which I like. It's actually really nice. I don't mind it. But you can buy more of these grips and you swap this out. Same grips, I'm pretty sure. It's the same grip that comes with the Ronin. I wonder if this looks like the smaller one, smaller than my Pro. I wonder if we can add the longer one on there, or the extended grip. I know they make the extended grip for the RS4. I wonder if you can get that for that handle. I almost lost that. What is this tiny thing? A couple screws here. Like this 3/4, looks like 3/4 inch screws. This is the actual motor. I really don't care much for unboxing videos. I'm always curious to see what's in the thing and some of the parts. Sometimes I get super excited about that. Maybe you guys would enjoy this. If I decided to post it and you're watching now, then I guess you know I did. But I don't know if this is going to be just a separate unboxing video or a video with more value where I'm actually using it on a shoot. So one of the main reasons I got this was I have autofocus glass, and mainly the only reason I use that is it's for autofocus. It's not necessarily the look I like out of any of those lenses that I use. It's usually a necessity of autofocus. I do own a few Cine lenses and I've rented them. I prefer a lot of other lenses that are manual for many reasons. A lot of the reasons I like the manual lenses is I like the look of them, not so much the manual aspect of it. I like having the option of going manual, which you can always do with photo glass, but there's a lot of reasons why photo lenses aren't really designed for pulling focus manually. Because of that, I've really missed shooting on manual lenses. I rarely do anymore, especially in multicam shoots. Being able to have this system, I could have one camera on maybe my jib or slider, or possibly just on sticks even, that I can hopefully trust to an extent of a sitting talking head at least. That's kind of the bare minimum I'm looking for out of this for me to be happy. A talking head piece where I can pull manual focus and watch one camera when the other one could be over there just pulling focus. And you don't need that, but if you're shooting with really shallow lenses, sometimes when people talk, they lean forward, move back, and you can direct them to not move or to stay in one space. I don't do that a lot of times. I usually let them just kind of be themselves and be comfortable. It depends on the project, of course, but most of the time I notice that people tend to move, they lean forward, or they get ready to record and just lean in. It's like, well, why aren't you leaning in to begin with? But anyways, but having a camera like this that can be point focus manual for me on one end allows me to use my cine lenses now in multicam setups and be able to trust them. Also, one of the biggest things that really excited me was being able to use autofocus anamorphic lenses. That is probably the most anticipated thing I'm willing to try with this. I want to get some. I don't own any anamorphic. I've rented them before. I'm probably going to rent a few. I might buy a few just because of the system. So this system allows a new world for me in that you don't need autofocus for most things. This is not a necessary thing, but I find myself doing a lot of shoots these days by myself, and I have a lot of passion projects too that I just can't afford to bring people on with me. So having this as an option to pull focus to is going to be great. I think it actually looks pretty cool. I don't know if that's just going to pull focus or it's going to keep on my face. So this little system here is also an investment in my future as a cinematographer, a DP, production company owner. I've been looking into other cameras to get. I love Sony cameras, but I'm not married to any brand. I've just been more invested in them because they've made sense for the work that I've been doing. That doesn't mean they're the best. I do think they definitely punch above their weight, and the FX6 is an amazing camera for what it is and where it lands in the market. There's not a lot competing with it. With the Blackmagic Pixis coming out, where I've talked about possibly picking up the Blackmagic Pixis whenever that actually is released, and pairing it with this system, which would give the Blackmagic 6K autofocus, hopefully somewhat reliable autofocus, to be able to get 6K open gate, full frame with autofocus on cine glass, and even shooting anamorphic sounds like a killer combo. I just think shooting on the Blackmagic Pixis with this system, I think, is going to be one of the best use cases for it, where it's going to really bring the value up in the Pixis. Picking it up at that $3,000 price point and then spend another $1,000 for this, that's $4,000, and you get a full frame 6K camera with an autofocus system and Blackmagic RAW. Now, I've been asked, am I actually going to pick up the Blackmagic Pixis? The more I've thought about it, I don't think so, because for the past year, I have really fell in love with RED cameras. I don't own a RED, but I've worked with some RED footage lately, and I have just completely fallen in love with the RED RAW files. The image from RED I've really enjoyed, and I could do another video talking about this, but I used to really dislike RED. I did not like them. I didn't like the sharp digital look. I've educated myself a little more about the system, and I have found myself working more in a workflow that kind of makes sense for me with that camera. I do think the RED would be a better investment for me personally where I'm at. So the Komodo X is something I'm looking at. My only issue holding back on that is I own a lot of E-mount glass. So switching to any other system that doesn't take that is a huge consideration for me. So obviously the FX6, a big thing is the autofocus is something I was looking for out of it. So switching to something like a RED Komodo X or Komodo or even the Pixis, a camera that doesn't have autofocus or not the greatest autofocus overall, where I'd most likely be investing in cine lenses, which is the direction I want to go. There's a couple I'm looking at, trying to decide on what I think is a smart investment that I want to own over renting. I would like to own an anamorphic set as well. I would love to shoot more anamorphic, and having a system like this will give me a little more confidence, hopefully, if it works well, to shoot more and have the autofocus kind of take that first AC role out of the one-man band, have something else at least assisting me, not doing the job, but assisting me in that role, and I can focus more on other things, whether it be the overall project, lighting, audio, whatever it may be. But yeah, that's kind of the main reason I made this investment. I don't know if this is going to be a standalone video. I may post this as it is if people are interested in this, but I want to do a full video of me actually going out and using it and giving my opinion on it, whether I like it or not. I will probably take it out tonight or tomorrow and start messing with it with the SLR Magic Micro Primes that I own. I own that kit. I'm gonna try them on this system with that. Another thing I really want to do is I want to try to see if I can get this to work with the Helios. I think that would be an awesome combo to be able to see the famous Helios lens with autofocus. I think would be a pretty big deal if it works right. But it's probably taking me a minute to set this up and figure it out entirely. I feel like I'm missing something. I might be missing something else, but So I'm gonna be spending a lot of time watching YouTube videos trying to figure out how to do this. And I might briefly go over to mine, but let's see if I can even figure that out. Yeah, some people on YouTube actually watch YouTube too. I'm excited to try this out. And if I end up posting this video, which I'm not sure, thanks for watching. And if you're interested in seeing more on it, then I will definitely have another video that I'm planning on doing where I'm actually going out and using it and giving my input on what I think about it and how well it's going to work and use cases I'm going to use it in and how I'm going to use it in the future.